What's going on, Misfits? Welcome back to the Misfit Podcast. Welcome if you're new. Thank you guys for tuning in. I super appreciate you all for being here. If you guys would like to support the show, tap in below rightrides.com, scoop a Urban Misfit hoodie or a t-shirt. That definitely helps us push the show forward. So if you want to support, tap in. So let's get to it. Today's podcast, bro. I'm really excited to announce these guys. They drove all the way out here from Fremont and, well, yeah, basically from like the Bay Area. But my man's drove all the way from SoCal to come up here working on some stuff. So please help me welcome Mike from HB.Custom Garage and Al from BaylandsBicycles. What's good?
What's up?
Yep, got a garage full of folks today. That's for sure. How many? 2, 4, 5 of them. 5 of you guys. Yeah, shout out to you guys for making the trip out here. Super appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Word.
Shout out Zach.
Yeah, so Mike, what's new with you, my guy?
Lots of new stuff coming. 2020 was a pretty crazy year, I think, for just about everybody, especially in the bike industry. Not even the BMX industry, but I think bike industry in general.
Go ahead and pull the mic a little bit closer to you.
I think a lot of people in the bike industry just was not prepared for what 2020 had coming, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, not even just BMX. I mean, I remember there was time you go to Walmart, Target, don't matter where you go, and they had empty racks everywhere. You know, you go to your local bike shop, empty racks. Pretty much the only bikes you would see are repairs. That's all. You go to a store, hey, is this one from? No, that's a repair. No, what about
right?
That's a repair too. So I want to finish the year strong. I have some, obviously some orders I'm still looking to fulfill before the end of the year. But next year, I think is going to be, I think where we're going to make our mark. I think a lot of big things coming, which is why I brought Al here too. We'll kind of discuss that here in a second, I'm sure. But yeah, lots of cool new collabs. Some first HBCG branded products, seats, pads, apparel. I mean, frames. I mean, it's next year's just going to be something which I was planning to do all that this year, but obviously with the logistics of everything that happened this year, it was just it was hard. It was hard just fulfilling orders, and I think that could be said for everybody that was even online retailers, your local bike shops. I think everybody took a hit, and not financially, but just it was hard. It was hard.
Yeah, nobody's seen it coming
done this year.
Yeah.
So a lot of companies that been around for 20 plus years, like they were running around with their heads cut off, trying to keep production up with the demand. So parts, people making parts. I mean, I tell people all the time, I'm like, hey, I build bikes too. I like to ride. So the products that I'm offering you, I'm also using for myself, or I'm also ordering parts. So please, please be understanding with the delays, because I mean, there's parts that I order, like it's a mass produced finished product that all somebody has to do is put it in a box and ship it, and it's still taking months to get to people.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm like, what do you think? How do you think it's going to be with something that you order that doesn't even exist in the world?
Yeah.
That I have to make, that I have to source, then I have to ship it. So, I've been doing this for a couple of years, all the custom stuff, and I probably in the first 2 years, I probably refunded one person, right? It was just taking too long. It's taking too long, man. It's cool. I'm like, all right, here's your refund. This year, man, it's been, I mean, it was at a point where I'm looking for volunteers. People be like, hey, what's going on with my order? And I'm like, you know what? I'll just refund you. I'm super, super behind. And I'm not sure when I'll get to it. I can't give you a ETA at this point, so if you want your deposit back, whatever, it's here. But 9 out of 10 people are like, you know what? I would rather have the custom seat. Honestly, I don't want the refund. I don't want, they're
Nice.
like, and I'm like, I appreciate that, and please be patient. It's I'm trying to get to everything as much as I can, as quickly as I can. And I think I basically came on the show because there's, a lot of people that always ask what's taking. That's probably the number one question out there. What's taking so long? Or when am I going to get my stuff? Or how come things are taking a little bit longer? Well, basically, there's a process to this, right? It's not like somebody's like, I want an SE seat that's purple with pink logo. and I'm, oh, you know what? I just happen to have it on the shelf already made. Here you go. Like,
Right.
Like everything from that seat is sourced out. It's all, like I gotta find the vinyl, right? That fits the color you want, whether you're trying to match your frame or your wheels or your parts. So I gotta find that, then I gotta source the thread, because everybody wants their thread to match their anodizing, of course, right? So you gotta like find that specific thread that matches the color best. And then, heaven forbid, you have a custom logo that I got to go send out to get digitized. And, and I'm at the mercy of that person. My digitizing guy is the best. And so he's got, other customers and people that send him art to digitize. So I'm at their mercy. So then when he gets done digitizing the artwork, he sends it out to turn it into an embroidery file. Then he has to go to the embroiderer. Then the embroiderer has to tell me, hey, this logo is good to go. Let's, bring the vinyl over, whatever. And we're talking that's one order right there. It has to go through all those steps, right? And heaven forbid, there's a break in that chain, which happened a lot this year, a lot. I tell people, look, anybody that's ordered a seat for me knows they don't have to send their seat or anything. I provide that. And but I don't make it. I don't manufacture those seats. I'm taking like seats, there's a few companies that are making seats, the SC Flyer seats, GT was making seats, and Black Ops has seats that I use. So, between those three brands, like I'm ordering seats for myself to just tear apart and customize. And just like I said earlier, with the demand this year, it was hard to get parts, and seats included, and there was a point where I was taking orders, and I'm placing orders for seats, and they're telling me, oh yeah, next week, Mike, we'll have your orders for your seats. Cool, no worries. So I take more orders. 2 weeks turns into 3 weeks. 3 months down the road, I still don't have my seats, and here's a stack of orders, right? So, and the difference is, you're selling finished goods. You're, the City Grounds, Planet BMXs of the world, whoever. You got a stack of orders, and as soon as you get those products in from whoever you're ordering from, boom, it goes out the door. Somebody holds up something on my end, I don't get this. And even when I get it back, now I have to make it. So there's, you know what I mean? It's like, imagine Profile selling you all the, you're ordering all the parts just for a stem. And then you get all the parts and you're like, okay, now we got to assemble it before we ship all these stems out. You know what I mean? Like, so it's, there's a lot of dynamic that I don't think people understand about the custom game that is, and people are like, why didn't you just tell me? And I'm like, because it took me like a whole novel just to explain the whole process.
Right.
And to tell you them all, you have a few hundred orders. I don't really have time to send 200 novels to everybody, and some people just frankly don't even get it, and then COVID took a hit this year, ate up all the parts, made it very hard to receive parts or seats for my case. Fabric stores that a normal 5-minute trip inside the fabric store, locate the vinyl, leave, those stores closed down. Now you're like, where the hell do I get more stuff from? Now I don't have seats. Now I can't get the stuff that I need. And people are like, well, why don't you just, stocking the seats? I do. Why don't you, stock the vinyls? And I mean, I've taken video of the vinyl places I go to, the fabric stores. I mean, it's like aisle, deep of all the vinyls. And even then, 6, 7 out of 10 times, I can't find the vinyl I'm looking for in there. Damn. And they're stocked that deep. I got to go to a different vinyl store. I got to go to a different fabric store to find it, So and these are the stores that specialize in stocking fabric, and they can't even keep up with.
Damn, and what's the cost on getting a custom seat made from you?
It's generally about $150.
Okay.
It starts at $150.
Well, shit, bro. I mean, with all the work involved.
But you got to think about it. It's the seat alone is anywhere from $20 to $30, $40. Right. So you're already $40 into the project.
Material, yeah.
But just out of curiosity, and which it's never a price resistance when somebody asks for, if anything, as everyone's like, that's it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah.
And I'm at a point where I'm like, everybody's like, you should charge more. I'm like, but that's not really why I got into this. There's a bunch of people right now without the passion, without the hobby, that are in the bike industry because they see an opportunity to make money, right? If and when, that kind of market kind of levels back out, a lot of these people they're just gonna drop off, right? Like I started this before all this, before it got big. I mean, I haven't been in this too long, but early enough where I'm not just trying to get on the board just to make money.
Sure. I think there comes a point though where like probably why like the people who support you and your products and stuff say to charge more, and like why I'm personally thinking why I would say charge more is because like we want to see you keep doing it. And in order for you to keep doing it, you got to stay motivated. And like, right. I was just adding all that up in my head. And that's why I asked, how much does the seat cost, bro? Because there's a lot of steps involved. There's a lot of work, a lot of leg work. So
and for one, so you multiply that by however many different logos, different colors, different, then it's not, I mean, I tell people all the time, I said, look, you want a bike, you have options, right? There's a lot of different brands you can buy. You want parts, there's a lot of different options you can go with your build, depending on your budget, whatever. You want a custom seat, I'm like, please show me another Instagram, another company out there doing what I'm doing. Right. Real. So I'm at least to the level that I'm doing it. Right. Yeah. So it's like, so you have this whole bike industry customer demographic. If somebody wants a bike, they have different options. But then to do what I'm doing, like all these same people that have all these options to go different ways, now they're all being funneled into me trying to accommodate everybody.
Right.
And it's my personal flaw because I'm super ambitious. I want to conquer the world yesterday. In my mind, I've already conquered the world however many times. So it's hard. And trust me, all these if you have an order in with me, like there is some way, because it's not easy. Like, I mean, people think like I'm out there, hey, do you need us? Like, if anything, I don't reply to 90% of the inquiries.
The new ones, yeah.
People want stuff. It's generally word of mouth. Hey, man, this guy's been trying to get a hold of you. I know him. He's cool. Can you please, hook him up or whatever? And I'm like, okay. I'm like, I really can't. But when somebody kind of gives you a referral, I'm like, okay, I'll try to squeeze it in my schedule,
Right.
And it's tough, man. Like I said, I get people that get mad. They're like, F you, you're not playing your DM. And I'm like, bro, I don't know you. It's not personal. I don't hate you. I'm not ignoring you. I'm not. I just
one guy.
I just haven't had time to go through your message. It's like, and I don't owe you nothing. Like, you don't have a deposit in. We don't have a commitment to do business. We haven't even gone to first base, and you already want me to get on my knee and propose to you. You know what I mean? It's like let's take the steps. It's so it's it's tough, man, and it's but like I said, being ambitious, I like, everybody's doing cool shit right now. That's probably the best. Trying to give something away here. The best way to get my attention, if you want something custom, send me pictures of your build. I get people that send me like progress pictures. Here's my frame. This is the color. That gets me excited because, like I said, I build bikes too. I'm a fan. I ride, so it's not like I'm trying to auction off. Okay, I'm trying to find somebody who's going to pay the most for the seat. Like, I mean, there's times where somebody's like, I want to see. They show me their build, and I'm like, man, I'll hook you. I'll give you a sick deal. I just want to contribute to that build. You know what I mean? And
Hell
it's
yeah.
and then seeing people tag. I mean, man, I get jealous of my tag posts because my content on my Instagram is I like to think it's pretty cool. But then when I go to my like tag posts, I'm like, I got a pretty dope portfolio of all my stuff that's out there. You know what I mean? And it's it's an honor to like be in all those to be able to contribute to people's cool builds, because I know just from my own experience, like it's not easy. Like building a custom frame or a custom bike or whatever.
Bro, there's a lot of time, money, and work that goes into those builds.
And you know what it is? That what gets to me too are just the sentimental ones, right? A lot of people are doing a lot of sentimental. Oh man, this was my favorite band. And they would, we'll have an hour conversation on the phone, them just telling them why they want to do this build. It's like, this was my favorite band. I remember I was going through some tough times. I lost my dad, and this was the band and that saved my life when I was, and I now want to do like a tribute bike for this band. And I'm like, when do you need it by? You know what I mean? It's like, okay, let's make this happen. So it's, or, somebody passed and this is a memorial bike or this. It's like, there's been a lot of those, and it's cool to like contribute to those kind of builds, it's so I get ambitious and I'm like, yeah, everybody should have one of my, it's a character flaw that I just want to be able to accommodate everybody or to be able to contribute, overshoot, right? Like, but I got to slow down because like I said, it's, projects are taking the turnaround. I understand the turnaround times are taking a little bit longer, and I think it's no secret. Anybody, that's gotten stuff done for me before, will probably tell you, yeah, he probably took a little bit longer than he said, maybe a lot longer than he said, but I can almost guarantee or promise that nobody had any complaints once they received the product, regarding, if anything, it's like, I mean, you should see some of the messages I have with you. Like there's people that want to fight me, because I'm lagging on their stuff, and I get it. I'd be pissed too, trust me, I get it. But then when they, all of a sudden they're like, here's your tracking. And then in a few days they're like, bro, I love you so much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like we just went from, where do you live? I'll fly to your city and fight you tomorrow, to like, I love you, man. When are you going to come out here and visit me? I got you. You know what I mean? So it's like, so I get that. So there's like personal passions, emotions connected with these custom projects, right? Which is kind of why I'm even still doing, I tell people, look, I have a full-time auto shop that I do. That's my 9 to 5, right? I got into the bikes, got into the building. But I was fine. I was fine before I was doing all this custom stuff, man. It's like, I'm not doing this to get rich. Like, I'm not rolling around in like some $100,000 car or whatever. Like I tell people, if anything, when you add the time and money, stuff that I put into a project, I probably come on the negative side of that, what I just shipped you. You know what I mean? Like I do the mag wheels. I'm sure everybody knows. Like, there's profit there. That's, mass produced shit that's imported and shipped. There's money, there's margins. I'm good with that. And I could be okay with just doing that and just doing my car stuff. But the passion and the hobby and the emotion and the creativity, the artistry that I kind of want to share, I guess, with the world, it's in the custom stuff. And like I said, I think what I do and what I charge, I think that's reflected because, everybody else, I've had people order stuff for me and then flip it, like resell a seat for like $200-300. And like, somebody were like, is that your seat on eBay that I just sold for $300? I'm like, shit, I only charge you like $150. You know what I mean? I'm damn.
That was good.
So it's so obviously it's a labor of love. It's not like about like I need to feed my kids I need to see. So it's like when people get upset, I'm like, look, man, I'll refund you. No problem. Like, if anything, you're doing me at this point, and but I'm one of those passive guys, right? Like in a relationship, like if I'm not happy in a relationship, I'm not the one that's gonna break it. I'll sabotage it. I'm like, I don't want to be with you, and I'm like, oh, thank you. Like I don't want to be that guy, the bad guy. So I don't want to call these people up or text them or message them. Hey man, I just don't want to do your shit. Can I just refund you? So sometimes I may lag, and then when the time comes, if and when I take too long, and they said, and I said, I'll just refund you your deposit. We'll revisit it maybe another time when I'm not so busy. Like that does, like sometimes there's like that relief.
Right.
But there's still some like they're like, man, I really want my money back, and I'm like, look, and I'll tell them like, hey, I have no problem. I've been refunding so many people this year. But your shit, I don't want to. I really want to finish it for you because I think this is gonna look super dope.
Nice.
And then they're like, oh, okay, cool. Because there are some that I really do want to finish. Because I just know it's gonna look super dope.
Nice.
I put a lot, and people see my Instagram and they see these cool stuff or whatever, and but they, it's I tell people it's like you watch like a movie with this sick action scene, right? It's like holy shit, cars flipping, people shooting out of their cars. It's just whatever special effects, but you don't know that how many days and hours and takes that it took just to get that 5-second clip or 20-second clip, so they see, oh damn, that scene is sick or that's dope, but they don't know like the blood, sweat, and tears that went into that shit, that I'm like pulling my hair, I'm fighting with family while I'm working later, and that there's a lot of sacrifice into going into these projects, but they just see kind of like that finished product.
Yeah, they see the picture of you smiling, holding the seat.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So it's that's just kind of just wanted to clear the air on some of that stuff, because I know there's some people out there waiting on orders. I know there's people that I've refunded this year, but like I said, man, it's I really do try my best. It's not like everybody knows like I'm just super slammed. I'm not just sitting around lagging on your shit. Like it's like it's logistics. I mean, it's they're like, oh, I seen this one, and I'm like, look, that one is a lot easier. That's another thing. I'll post something, right, and I tell people like everything on my content is, I don't make all that shit for myself. It's all for different people. So then people know, like they'll hit up, I'll post something and I'll tag somebody, then I get that dude to hit me, hey, I got all these people messaging me like when I place my order, because
they're all trying to
they're all
figure
trying
out
like,
how to get his first.
Like, but I place this, I placed order before the city bikes came out, and why is and I'm like, but there's so many, it's just, and I tell him like, hey, the dude that I made that for his city bike, it took me almost a year to finish their last project that I'm making it up to. Like there's always some background. Like I'm not purposely like lagging on your shit because I don't like you. Like there's always some kind of justification, but that's none of your business. That's my I'm the one fulfilling these orders, and I'm gonna get to yours. And if I lagged on yours, when on your next one, I'll try to make it up to you. You could be the next guy that waited so many months, and then then you hit me up and I get your seat in a week. Like that could be you. You know what I mean? Like I try to do my best to make it up to people if I know genuinely. Like I've sent shirts and free shit. Hey man, I'm sorry I lagged. What size are you? Hey, like whatever I got to do to, because like I said, I know it's just from the excitement, right? Like I order shit and there's stuff that I got my sprocket, cool. But then like, oh my God, I got this part finally, like that one piece that's just, and that's the thing with what is so, I think the response I get is like, most of the stuff people order are like, everybody's doing anodizing. Everybody's doing all this. But what makes that bike your bike is the custom seat and the custom pads.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the topper. That's what sets the bike off. Because everything else, you can, somebody else might have those same exact wheels built, the same exact hubs, the same exact this, the same exact frame, the same exact anything on that bike.
Because you can buy it off the shelf.
The only thing that they won't have is your seat and your pads, unless they got it from me, which, it's crazy because I feel like, hey, please don't replicate this, this pad.
I was going to ask, yeah.
And I don't, I try not to. I really don't think there's. I mean, I've done stuff that was kind of semi-mass produced, which are all the same. But I always try to change something up, especially if it's customized. Which makes it harder because it's like, how many ways can you do the same logo? How many? I want the same seat that I saw you post, and I'm like, I can't really do it exactly the same because that's the whole point of custom. Like,
right.
That dude paid for it to be that way.
That's like seeing somebody else's tattoo and be like, yo, let me get that same tattoo, bro. Like, it just doesn't work,
So I always try to add my own personal touch to it. And there's people that's like, hey, here's my bike. Well, what do you want to get on it? What logo, what color? I don't care. You're the artist, you do it, which is cool. It's flattering, but the cons of that is I've done shit and they didn't like it.
Oh yeah.
Because my taste is different than your taste, so then all that time and then I got to redo it okay. And then they'll take that as like, okay, well, I like that part, but so can you make that part blue and then make that part, and I'm like, so I got to basically just
redo a
couple of weeks that when I use it to make this, I got to make you another one. So I try to get a little direction because, and there's times where people like, there's guys that I have a lot of repeat customers because usually when they get one, they're like, okay, I have 5 more bikes that I want to do. So they know the process. They're usually super patient. But those guys, they're like, just do it up. I trust you. And those guys, but if it's somebody new or whatever that I've never worked with before, like I won't do the whole.
Yeah. So if you like cut off new orders right now, pretty much.
My goal is to finish whatever orders I have pending before the year's over. My goal is to start next year fresh, right? Because I have so many projects, collabs, some dope ass brands, man. I can't wait. My own line of stuff that I want to do. So my goal is to finish everything by the end of the year. And if for some reason I don't fulfill every order, I'm going to offer a full refund, maybe throw, some shirts or whatever. But that's the goal. So, I mean, if it's something new, and that's what sucks is in the beginning, I didn't know nobody. So it's like, hey, I'm like, I don't know you. Like, but now I feel like, guys that are kind of big or whatever, or know some people or, it's everybody's just doing so much. Everybody's raised their game with their builds and everything. So it's, and I don't want to I'm not too big on tooting my own horn, but the biggest thing everybody tells me is, look, before you were around, we were limited with what we could build. We wanted to do something gold with green and blue. We had to find a seat and pads out there that would have to kind of tie it all in. And if we couldn't, then we would change the wheels from gold to black, because there's, black and gold seats you can get. They're like, since you kind of came on board, like it opens up opportunities and visions that were never before available when you're doing a custom build, because now you're like, I don't have to worry about the seat pads. I can build this thing rainbow color, and I could have Mike do the seat and to tie it all in, so it kind of opens up that whole game, right? Which is cool. Like I said, it's that was kind of my whole goal, was to kind of like you find the niche, right? Like I wanted to be able to do something that, because it's competitive, it's competitive making bikes, it's competitive making parts. It's like what hasn't been done. I mean, even the pads have been done, man. I mean, I wasn't the first, I'm not, and I won't be the last. There's a guy out there, Greg Kinchelo, that started the whole embroidery pads. That's the OG right there. Greg, I believe, he was the OG. I know a lot of people that have gotten stuff done from him, and I came in the game to offer something he didn't offer, which was the seats. The issue was people would be like, oh, I got the pads from Greg, but and I got the seat from you, but the black vinyls don't match the embroidery color, you know what I mean? So there's and people
details.
are picky,
Details.
all their anodizing has to match. So same with the seat and pads. So then they would be like, "What? Can you just make the pads?" And I'm like, and I didn't want to step on his toes, to be honest. In the very beginning, that was, that was kind of his hustle, and I didn't want to be like, "Look, I don't want to step on his toes."
Right.
And people be like, "Hey, I need seat and pads." I'm like, "I'll do your seat. Go to Greg to do your pads." But like I said, as people were getting stuff from both of us, there was inconsistencies. And like I said, it's not because mine is better or his whatever.
No,
but
it's just hard to have
just-
two
just-
artists.
yeah, I mean,
work
I
on
tell
one
people-
thing, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I want a black seat. Okay, matte, shiny, semi-gloss black. What kind of texture do you want? Black. I mean, there's so many even different variations of black. So I don't know what he's using, what black he's using. It's definitely not the same roll I'm using, So then people start asking, and then I would be like, okay, I'll do pads, but only if you order a seat too. And it was that way it can everything can just kind of match.
right.
So that's kind of why I started doing it. But it's I mean, like I said, there's so much, man. Wait till 2021. I mean, if you think you've seen some cool stuff with the seats and pads and bikes, and I mean, next year it's just, I mean, trust me, I've saved a lot of stuff for some new stuff, I mean, I've even given a lot of my ideas away. I had people like do a build, and I'm like, man, I was actually going to do something somewhat similar, but I don't even know when I'm going to get to it. So I'll make it for you how I was going to do it for myself, so I've given some ideas away. And just because, I mean, like I said, I always put everybody else's stuff before mine. I try to do like, I don't know, 2-3 builds a year. Sometimes I only do one. Sometimes I do two. Like I have so many ideas, so many things I want to do, and just so little time. It's always about, and that even with bike shows. Like we have bike shows in SoCal. Well, we did, and then we didn't have one this year because of COVID. But a lot of these guys that are building $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 bikes. I mean, there's like
That is crazy.
like
bro.
bragging rights, and it's it's generally there's no prize
Crazy.
money. It's just bragging rights, man. And but it pushes everybody. So I always wanted to enter those. I'm like, I got so many cool ideas for that bike show, but obviously everybody, a lot of people that enter those bike shows are hitting me up to do their seats and pads. So then there's like that conflict, because it's like, I already know what everybody's building. So it's like, it wouldn't be fair if I kind of do my own. Not only that, but I got to make sure I finish all their shit before the show, which usually won't relieve time for me to finish my build for the show. So I generally can never enter a show because I'm so busy doing everybody else's stuff.
Right.
It's like I can't roll up to the show and be like, "Hey, yo, sorry I couldn't finish your seat and pads. Sorry I couldn't finish yours. Sorry I couldn't finish your stuff. But I got mine done. So here I'm gonna enter my bike.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry guys, my bad. Like I can't. So it's like so I have to make sure everybody's gets done. And those are I don't know if I can do that again too. Those bike shows. I mean, I know you ride, man. It's like, it's probably not, there's usually, you got guys that rides, guys that, and us that can't ride as well, or, whatever. We can't ride at all. We just like to go out there. We like to build, right? So you got the riders, you got the builders, you got some, somewhere in the middle maybe. But these bike shows, man, they're super intense. They're stressful. And what makes it hard is, so usually during these bike shows, these bikes are like, I mean, the process of getting all the parts done. I mean, the copper, gold, this, that. So I mean, it's all over the place. You got frames here, you got parts there. You're waiting on certain parts to be shipped. You're waiting on this person to finish your frame. So there's a lot in motion before you even know if you have time to
put it all together.
Before. I mean, guys are preparing like a year out, So I get the phone calls, right? Like, hey, I'm planning to do this bike show again, and I need some seat and pads. I'm like, cool. Well, I'm not sure if I'm gonna have everything back in time, so I'll keep you posted. If I get all the parts and I can make this happen for the show, cool. But I don't want you to make something that I won't need because I'm not gonna be able to have it for the show. I was like, cool. So here we are, like a week before the show, few days before the show, the night before the show. I've even had calls. Guess what? I got everything back. I know the show's only 2 days away, but it looks like I'll be able to put this bike together. Hook me up.
2 days.
I mean, a day, 2 days, a week. I mean, it's but it's like, how do you not want to contribute to these $5, $6, $7, $10,000 builds? Like, like you have to, as coming from my position, like
Right.
this is the biggest advertising branding thing out there.
Yeah, that's your demographic right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's always rough, man. I mean, there's guys out there like 3, 4 in the morning before the show. I'm like, bro, your seat's done. Can you want to pick it up? You want me to drop it off?
Yeah.
But crazy stories. There's one story. I'm not going to mention any names, but this guy hit me up he gave me some ample time. He was like, hey, my bike's done. Show's in a few weeks. I want to order some pads. I'm like, cool, no worries, son. He's like, is that enough time? I'm like, yeah, bro, I got you. Finished the pads a week before the show. He lives out in SoCal, like 2 hours away from me. So I'm like, and it's a week and a half or something before the show. I'm like, let me just ship it to you? He's like, yeah. I mean, even if it gets delayed 2 or 3 days, we still have time, right? So I ship it. I send the tracking. And then the show is on Saturday. On Wednesday, he calls me, says, hey, man, my pads aren't here yet. It's Wednesday. I know I have a few more days, but it should have been here like Monday or Tuesday. I'm like, I sent you the tracking. He's like, oh, yeah, let me check it. He's like, it's in Michigan. And I'm like, what? So I go track it. And it is in Michigan. I'm like, what the hell? And this was Wednesday afternoon already. So the post office was closed. So Thursday morning, I'm like, right when they open, I'm like, hi, I need to talk to somebody about this. And they're like, well, it looks like it was missorted and it got on a plane. So now it's in Michigan. And I said, okay, can we just overnight it back? I need it by Saturday. And this is already Thursday. And I shipped it like Friday, and it was only supposed to go 2 hours away. So I shipped it first.
Oh my God.
So I shipped it first class, right? Because first class, even first class, should have been there way enough time. So they said, well, because it was shipped first class, we have to ship it first class back from Chicago. So it's probably not going to be here till next week.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, had I known you guys were going to put it on an airplane, I would have shipped it overnight. You know what I mean? But it was only going 2 hours away. So I ended up making the dude another one. I'm like, bro, look, I'm going to try to rush this for you. And he's like, yeah, no worries. He's like, oh, because it wasn't his fault. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
But I know what like I said, as a builder myself, I know what he had into this bike. And it was important that no matter what, I try to get that for him.
Right.
So I rushed it and I got it done. And I said, I got it done on Friday. It probably wasn't as good as the original, but under the circumstances, I got something that was almost as equal as the first one. But all-nighter, 2 nights, right? Just to try to get it done. Asking favors from people. Hey, man, I need this. I need that. And I told him, well, it's done. This is Friday. I'm like, I am not shipping it. We're going to meet at the show before. I'm going to hand these to you, right?
Yeah.
So day of the show comes up, and I'm like waiting around for him. And I had some other people stuff that I was handing out for the show. Because usually when it gets a few days before the show, I'm not shipping shit. Like, I'm going to the show, so I'll meet you at the show, and we can all just meet there and give you your stuff. I don't want to risk like anything happening in transit. So after I got everybody's their stuff, here's this guy's stuff just sitting there waiting. I'm like, it's this last guy. Where is he? I've yelled at how many people at the post office. I've yelled at, cussed out, cursing emails to all these U.S. postal people trying to get this thing back. So I finally call him, hey, bro, I'm here at the show. Got your pads, He's like, oh, man, something came up. I won't be able to make the show after all.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, oh,
damn it.
All right, cool. Well,
Damn.
I said, and obviously you got to be, a little bit sympathetic if it's an emergency or whatever. Well, hopefully everybody's okay.
Yeah.
Just no big deal. I just want to let you know, I have your stuff. So yeah, that's the stuff I go through, man. It's,
Bro. Oh my god.
It's the stuff that like, why
didn't
aren't
see
you
that
home for
coming.
dinner on time?
I didn't see that coming.
Why aren't you home for dinner on time? And your kids miss spending time with you. And so these are like stuff that nobody behind the scenes stuff, like that stuff that me and anybody else is doing custom stuff. I know it's not me. There's guys out there doing custom stuff with parts, with this. I know their hustle, their struggles, man. It's the guys building custom frames. It's tough, man. And it's one of those things where, look, not everybody's going to be accommodated when you're doing, like, there's no way a US made frame, you name it, whoever's making frames here in the US, they cannot accommodate everybody that wants a frame from them. It's just not possible. There's just not, I tell people all the time, I'll look at Nike ID, right? Or custom Vans. Like, so you have the custom stuff, and I've ordered custom Vans. I've ordered Nike ID stuff. It takes weeks, months sometimes to get these things, right?
Yep.
And these are multi-million, maybe billion-dollar companies, Nike, Vans, and it's still taking months sometimes to get your custom one. But are they going to stop making their staple shoes to make sure that all the custom ones go for, you know what I mean? So I tell people, I'm like, look, I'm going to, what happened? Why didn't, why? Well, I'm shipping wheels. I'm doing this. I got other stuff that's ready to go that I'm shipping. And then I circle back to the custom stuff, but that's just more efficient. Like, I'm not going to hold up, 20 sets of wheels I need to be shipped for one seat. It's just not, it's, and I'm not saying one order is more important than the other, but it's just a matter of being efficient. It's a matter, like I said, Vans and Nike, they're not going to shut down. Oh, you could go order a shoe on Vans or Nike and get it in a couple of days, but you order the custom stuff, it's probably not going to get there for a couple of months, maybe.
Not only that, bro, your options are really limited.
And you're not even doing it's not like you can design the whole. They're giving you like a kind of a template, right, of what can be customized. It's not even the full. I'm giving you you pick the color, the thread, the fabric, the texture, the logos. You're literally building this thing from everything. There's different panels. There's so many different options you could do this. So it's it kind of puts things in perspective. So hopefully people get that. I try to explain that to people, and then sometimes they're like, well, this, and I'm like, it is what it is. So, but 2021, like I said, I'm going to be super picky with the custom stuff, man. It's the last few years, like the custom stuff was more or less just a portfolio of the quality of what I can do, the creativity, in hopes that I knew at some point I was going to have my own branded stuff that I'm going to release, and it would be of the same quality and that you would get from a custom stuff. But I wanted to have enough stuff out there and portfolio where people are like, oh yeah, it's like, I don't know, back when Orange Coast Choppers, I believe.
Orange County Choppers.
Orange County, when they were building those steam bikes, whatever. So they made those steam bikes, but then they ended up having a production line of their own.
Right.
But it was because of that, kind of built their name, built their reputation for quality, whatever it is. So my whole goal was to kind of have enough of my work out there where people recognize the quality, the creativity that goes into it, which is going to be put also into the pre-made, manufactured, still here in the US, own branded stuff that's going to release this year, and kind of know you're going to still get that same quality. So I'm going to more branding this year, more of my the custom stuff. Like I said, super selective, but it's a labor of love, man, and I'm still in love with it. So it's not like I'm going to stop making it. It's just I just got to kind of maybe not spread my love so thin. It's
right.
But at the same time, like I said, it's always, man, that joy. Everyone's like, man, I feel like a kid when I know I have something coming in the mail from you and this and that. So it's nice hearing things like that. There's points in time where I get burnt out and I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore, man. It really isn't worth it. It's not really benefiting me financially. It's not benefiting. It's obviously, but it's but like I said, when you're in love with something, man, it's some of us know sometimes you come back, you just need a little break and then you come back and do more stuff. So so I'm never gonna stop doing the custom stuff. And it's
what's some of like the more like flagship stuff that you're gonna be producing?
Well, seats for sure. Pads. I'm gonna do some cool collabs. One collab I'm really excited about is doing a collab with Broke Boys.
Nice.
Jacob and I have been talking for a little while, and I told him like I'm all this year. My schedule is just it's literally down the toilet, man. Like I can't. I'm missing deadlines left and right. I'm just trying to get through this year, And I said next year though, I want to be able. We want to do something together, something big, and hopefully multiple releases throughout the year. But that's one I'm super excited about. Another thing that we are doing is we're working with Al. I'm sorry I've been taking up all this time. Al's probably like, remember? What about me? Hi. So Al's opening a store up here in Niles, Fremont area.
Gotcha.
BaylandsBicycles. So we started. He reached out, or start talking about wheels. There's just some people, man. You get on the phone, you connect, right? Like I'm a vibes guy. I tell people, I meet somebody, I get good vibes or bad vibes right off the bat. And if there's a good vibe there, like I know you're good peeps. I know we're like family. It's like you just have. It's like you just kind of get that from somebody. And right off the bat, from phone calls, talking, brainstorming, then they said, we got this idea for a store we're doing up here. We love what you're doing. Let's kind of figure out what we can do to, work together somehow, right? So, and man, I've been wanting to do a store for a while. Like I want to be able to feature products, and I come from the apparel background, so I've done a lot of merchandising, work with a lot of dope streetwear brands, action sports brands. So, we just talked a lot, and then things started coming to fruition. So, and then here we are. They're getting ready to open up a store here in the next couple of weeks. HB.Custom Garage is going to be featured, kind of like a flagship, right? Like a flagship custom shop where my products are going to be featured and sold on the retail level at an actual brick and mortar location. And a lot of big things going on. But man, their concept and the group of the guys they put together to put this project on, and
Al,
I mean it's
why don't you
it's
give us a little
dope.
breakdown?
But Al can tell you more about that.
I just want to say first, like, I was one of them dudes that called up Mike, and I was like, I'm gonna be in your city, bro. But when I got him, I was so happy, and I'm just so juiced to be messing with Mike. And I think I just like got into the whole ride scene. I'm like I guess you could call it like a old school pandemic rider, after pandemic rider or whatever. But I was a huffy kid, but man, I started doing it because of the health thing. Got some health issues, trying to still work on things, and got into it. Bunch of guys, we probably went and got, we started this thing called Rad Dads, and we started pushing that, and there was a few of us. We started off, maybe there was a couple of us with bikes, and someone had a mountain bike, and they were like, I'm gonna get a big BMX, Then it just turned into us like maybe like 10 guys buying like 50 bikes now, and we just got into the whole scene. And through I wanted to throw a reunion ride out and organize that with the Rad Dads. Shout out, fellas, you already know, and doing that, falling in love with the bike thing, and just wanting the style. I'm a big worm, man. I can't even lie, man. I'm not doing no wheelies out there, man. But we love the community. We love the kids out there, and like messing with Mike. I got in contact with him. You know, you see his work. I know you guys want this box open because I want to see it right now. Like, I just got a little peek.
I know.
He's been talking about it. He's been touching it. But you got to see, you know, you just got to see, you know, if you haven't seen what he does. And you know, I'm just really blessed to be messing with him. And like he said, we're trying to have a store. And me and a couple of my buddies, my boy Ant, and shout out my boy Mo. He ain't here right now. But we just trying to come together. We got, you know, a lot of we're looking out for the kids. We want to have like a home base. And you know, HB is gonna be there real strong. We want to present his stuff real showroomy. We're gonna have a lot of stuff for the kids, internships, and we want to have events and keep it safe out there, you know. Keep it safe out there and just enjoy it, man. Riding a bike, it's super fun. And, you know, that's how I got into it. And, man, I'm here right now with Slim. You know, what can I say? You know, I'm really happy.
Yeah.
Man. So, shout out Slim, man. So,
hell yeah, man. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. So, you know, we just trying to live, you know, go with the flow, you know what I mean? And just take it how it comes. And the shop's going to be some I'm excited about. And I think a lot of communities, because where we're at, we got like a lot of groups that ride and we all come together, and it's just a good thing, you know, to see everybody out there having fun. And the kids could be doing other things, you know, they could be doing worse things. So, you know, I'm sure you can remember what you were doing at 13, 16 and whatever. So
yeah, there's bad shit out there.
You know, we got a lot of people helping out. You know, I remember, there's just a bunch of everybody coming together, and it's good to see, you know, unity in the community, and just having this store in Niles, which is like it's like an old school town in Fremont where Charlie Chaplin, you know, did all his first movies. It was the first Hollywood.
Damn.
So it's really like a unique town, and the store is real unique. And it's gonna be, we got a lot of things coming up, man. A lot of ideas, and we're just trying to keep it fresh and keep it safe, and just
tell them what the concept is of the store.
Yeah. What are you gonna be carrying in the store and everything?
Right now we're trying to land some accounts, and we're feeling it out. But the concept right now is like just custom bikes. So you might see some bikes there that you haven't seen nowhere, like, you know, one-offs, you know, like get some HB stuff on there, and, you know, mix it up with his pads and his bars, and just a lot of custom stuff going on. And
boutique style.
Super boutique, apparel.
Rare. He should probably get on the
BMX.
Maybe my boy Ant. Let him get up
here. I'll step aside, and then you guys can come up here and talk about the store for a minute, and we'll
watch out for the bike.
Again, Slim, thanks for having us, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to see what's in this box too. Real custom. It's like a capsule, man. Good job. But just to speak on the shop, like we all grew up in Fremont. It's just a local brand. You know, we're like I said, the older heads. We got kids, family.
Right.
Kind of pass that back down to them.
Mo ain't from Fremont, but down with the movement.
We're just like, you know, trying to keep it, show them a little bit about the history, the culture, how everything started, BMX,
nice.
The riding. You know, these kids, like I had all these bikes, rare bikes that I had in storage for my sons. And they're like, Daddy, we want SC. So they went from like 16-inch, 20-inch straight to 26, 29-inch.
Right.
So it's like, bro, you missed all the good
heritage.
Stuff in between. Now you want wheelies, and you know they have their brands, their specific brands they want to ride.
Right.
And I get it, it's cool, but I just love the fact that they're into BMX, they're into riding, they're into bikes, the culture, and it's huge right now. It's the best time to be.
I mean, it's like history is repeating itself in the BMX world. It's like recreated, like repeating itself. Right. So to speak, because like us growing up back in the day, like what we think of as BMX, like now this wheelie shit is what these kids think of is BMX.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's hard for us to wrap our heads around because that's not what it is to us.
Right.
But dude, you watch, bro. This is going to be like when kids think BMX, like, or it's probably going to get classified big BMX.
Big BMX.
And that's how everybody's going to recognize it, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is like their BMX.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
a trip to think about that shit.
And it's exciting. It's good. I mean, I like seeing it. It's their own little twist on it. It's their own little culture, their vibe.
Yeah.
My kids, they give me shit all the time. They're like, "Dad, you're too old. You can't be riding." And we're like, "We're gonna do a ride out. We're gonna do merch. We're gonna do this." And he's like, "Yeah, right. You ain't gonna do shit." And then now it's coming together. I'm like, "I'm opening a shop. You can't come." He's like, "Oh, you ain't opening shit." And now it's all coming together. Like I said, we're high school homies. We've been like 30 plus years, you know, and it's just like what Mike said. It's just good vibes. Everything's just syncing together. It meshed well. Good matrix. But a little bit about the shop. You know, we want to have all the top brands, old school brands.
Go ahead and pull that mic a little bit closer to you.
Old school brands to retro, to the new school stuff.
You can angle that thing too, so it's pointing a little bit more if you want. Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah, cool.
Okay, cool. And the shop, it's like I was saying, it's in a unique place of Fremont. You know, Fremont's the old Charlie Chaplin, home to Tesla Motors. So there's a lot of money there. It's the hub of Silicon Valley.
Right, right.
So a lot of brands we've been talking to, they're excited, just like us. We're excited. They want to be a part of that. They want to be in Northern California. You know, BMX is like born SoCal. It's kind of California SoCal thing.
Right, right.
But now it's you know, it's worldwide now, and with all the branding and companies, you know, doing their job, stepping it up. We just want to take that field and kind of make it our own, put our own twist to it. You know, working with companies like Mike's company, other brands that have the same vision as us, the same customer service, the same quality parts, U.S. made, and we get it. You know, everything's made across the world, everywhere, but
right,
you know, just kind of having the same culture, the same vibe, the same feel. So.
Nice. So yeah, you guys are going like the boutique route. There's a shop like that, or actually I should say there was a shop like that here in Sacramento. It's called Black Diamond.
Okay.
You guys may have heard of it, but they carried like I wouldn't have been surprised to start seeing bikes show up in there, to be real, because it was like the high end sneakers, the rare clothes and bags and all types of stuff. But they didn't make it through all the protests and all that stuff, sadly. But with that though, like I said, if they were still around, I wouldn't be surprised if I started seeing bikes show up in there. So I think you guys are like totally on the right route, especially teaming up with Mike, bro. He's like, like that's such the perfect niche for like his product, and I'm sure that's going to attract other brands that are similar to his products and stuff, you know?
Definitely. I mean, you've seen his IG, you've seen the companies he's worked with, Monster, Puma, Jeep, SEMA Show.
Right.
You know, the hundreds, like he says, he has a streetwear background, and you could see it. You could see the aesthetics in his builds. I mean, you look at this bike right here,
bro. Yeah.
Man, get my big ass out there. You see this bike. I mean, hands down, like I said, we saw it for like an hour yesterday. I mean, it's just a beautiful, beautiful creation. I mean, he's hands down, head to toe. This is like one of the illest builds I've ever seen.
Illest.
Bro, yeah. Outside, it just beaming, bro.
Yeah.
All that chrome.
Definitely. And you could see all the old school elements. You could see, you know, obviously this is the Zeus 29-inch, but I mean, you could see all the old school, the loop tail, all bullseye parts.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bullseye. You know.
Yeah, shout out to Bullseye.
Has the Vans custom seat. I mean, look at the details, even in the back. You look at the back, it has the rubber stamp like the sneaker. Just like a real
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just like a shoe. I mean,
you get that later on.
I mean, you could walk up.
That's legit though.
And they'll be like, "This is our bike." Now.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So I mean, it's super clean. I was like totally impressed. You know, jaw dropping, just straight up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I dig the vibe. Yeah, you can slide back around this side.
What's up, Mike? We're gonna see what's in this box or what?
Yeah.
Go ahead, step on up.
Inquiring minds want to know, bro. We want to see what's in this box.
Mystery. Unpackaging the mystery.
So this year, did my first collab with an artist named OG Abel. And everything kind of worked out. Abel and I have worked together in the past from my apparel background. And if you guys don't know this guy, you Google OG Abel. If you're like in the streetwear, graffiti, you guys would know who he is. But the guy's just an amazing artist, man. I had the privilege of working next to him, watching him do his art and his just how he draws. I mean, insane, right? So this year was gnarly. We had death of Kobe, right? Then COVID. Then I'm a huge basketball fan, huge Kobe fan. So
And Kobe died and the world ended, bro.
yeah, it was crazy. And then basketball started and all these tributes to Kobe, and obviously being a Laker fan, from SoCal. And then all of a sudden the season stopped. We're like, fuck, are we gonna lose sports? We're gonna lose, and somehow things worked out. They were able to start up the sports again, and Lakers ended up winning. So, and this is the first collab here. Oops, sorry. This is the packaging. So this was the first collab I did, and this is OG Able art hand drawn LA.
Damn, bro, that's sick.
It's on Cobra skin, so it's like a Kobe kind of tribute Lakers. Let's see, it's on the Instagram, but yeah, check it out. So we did 24 of those for Kobe. And I thank you to everybody that purchased that, and it actually came with the matching shirt that you could pick your own size. So it was a combo. That was the first collab I did this year. So there's gonna be, like I said, being in the apparel background, 25 years plus in the apparel industry, action sports, streetwear, so many relationships that I've had that I wanted to collab with, and because it's that same guy, man. I was talking to you about it. I'm like, man, that same guy that was that streetwear kid that was skateboarding, with the sneakerhead. I'm all, now it's, instead of the skateboard, now they got a BMX bike.
Yeah.
They just kind of, but it's that same kid. Like, you're seeing it more. You're seeing a lot of cultures kind of all blend in, and I mean, it literally doesn't matter what your background is. Like, I feel like the common bond has always been the bikes, right?
Yeah.
It's just crazy seeing, like, and that's kind of what I'm sure a lot of people got into this. There's different things that kind of get you interested in something, but it was like, what keeps you there, right? And I think you see, I mean, you're seeing rides grow. You're seeing, like, I mean, obviously this year with COVID, that kind of help kind of grow it a little, with everybody not being able to do too much, but you can ride your bike, and that kind of shows how important bikes are, right? Like, couldn't go to the gym, they closed down the beaches, they closed down the hiking places. Like, you can do nothing, but you could ride a bike,
bro. Yeah, it was labeled essential.
Yeah, you could do it with
up.
your friends, you could do it by yourself. It's so then you just kind of so it basically kind of put into perspective what the importance of having a bike is. And obviously there's different genres of bikes, but I feel like ours is I mean, just so many cool people. I mean, you go to rides, man, you see and I tell my friends who are what are you doing these days? What are you doing? I don't have a BMX background, man, besides riding one as a kid, you know what I mean? But those were some of my fondest memories. Had a paper route. Like, I rode my bike to school. I was a latchkey. I mean, these days to hear about a latchkey kid, like, it's unheard of.
Right.
I was a latchkey kid, and I was in kindergarten. My parents worked, and and I had to ride my bike to school and ride my bike back. Came home, did my homework, got back on my bike, and looked for my friends. Oh, Joe's not there. I don't see his bike on the line.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you come to that house. You've seen I've seen memes where people are like, this is how we used to know where your friends were.
Right. All the bikes on the lawn.
And I feel like you kind of see that now again, but with adults, it's like, oh, and there's kids too. It's cool something that ties back with my older boys. They all ride bikes, and it's something you can do. It's just cool to, you have like doctors, and you got guys that are in something else, and tax people, and
right,
all walks of life, all colors, all walks of life, all political affiliate. I mean, I I think I gave you one. I did a shirt that said "Make America Ride Again."
Yeah.
You know?
Hell yeah.
And it's a lot of people were like, "Oh man, that's." I'm like, it's not racist. It's
really?
You know, I did it on with the red shirt too. That one looks a little bit from kind of far away when you can't read it. It does kind of tie to somebody, obviously, but that wasn't it wasn't a political statement. It was just getting everybody to ride again. Right. You know what I mean? It's and I think that's at the end of the day, that's, you know, I mean, a lot of these brands are always have some positive messages. You know, we ride as one, and just let's get kids on bikes. I mean, it's just all good stuff, man. It's I think those days of kids just, and I'm guilty of it. You know, I was a single parent with 3 kids, and I'm like, tablet for you, tablet for you, tablet for you. So now I could work. You know what I mean? Leave me alone. It's like, but it was out of necessity. But then after a while, I didn't have to work. I'm like, you guys want to go outside and, you know, shoot some hoops or play some football? No, I'm playing video games. No, I'm playing, you know what I mean? But I created that. Right. You know what I mean? And it was cool that I also created them getting back out again and dropping those games to go ride. And my oldest son like kills it on the skateboard too. But it's cool to just have them do that again, you know, because you know, it kind of brought me back to my childhood, and kind of and it's like I said, at the end of the day, man, it's just being out and being active, you know, in your community. And I mean, we even had a conversation earlier about these kids just doing this crazy stuff, and I'm like, man, they're just kids, man. They're just trying to do. It's a showcase of, you know, what they work hard for, you know.
Right.
You know, I know there's different people are like, well, we don't like certain things in our rides. We only want this. And, you know, I mean, that's what's cool is it's gotten so big where before, you know, you had to kind of mesh everybody. Oh, the wheelie kids and the guys that have
cruisers
like
and the custom bikes
and the expensive bikes don't want to ride together. You know what I mean? But it's getting,
for obvious reasons.
But it's growing so much where you can people can kind of have those start kind of branching off a little bit, and the kids can all kind of do their thing together. Or you have adults, you know, you have ride organizers, you know, doing, you know, wheelie contests, swerve contests before rides, so you kind of give them that platform still to showcase their skill, to showcase what they put a lot of hours into learning to do. I mean, hell, I can't do any of that shit, so I know how hard it is to do it, you know. But it's good to kind of have that platform too. It's just, you just got to be responsible about it. So, but yeah, so that's what's in the box. And like I said, there's presentation. I'm gonna do some cool packaging. I like working with different brands that can kind of. I like pairing up different products. Like with Abel, he's got his own apparel line. So like I said, being able to do the seat with the matching shirt was super cool. The customer could pick the size shirt. They got the seat, they got the shirt. So I want to do that with like maybe like a, you know, like I said, I'm not going to give out names, but there's other streetwear brands out there it'll be like seat pads with something else. Like when like that Hundreds bike, right? Like when they released that Hundreds bike, I don't know if you knew, but Hundreds released a shirt along with the bike.
Oh, really?
I'm not sure if it came with the bike or not. If you bought it brand new, but I think you could order it online and you can like get a matching shirt. There's a picture of LeBron James online, someone wearing SE ripping the same the hundreds with the LeBron. Yeah.
Damn.
And so I mean but yeah, that crossover. I mean, you know, famous did a brand. I mean, Dogtown. I mean, so it's just so cool because the stuff that I feel like when I left the apparel industry, it was kind of like, you know, am I going to be able to circle back to it somehow? And then just being able to be involved with bikes and kind of seeing that culture. You know, Crooks and Castles did a collab with SE. I mean, there's been some dope ass streetwear brands. So so it's cool that I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe my relationships won't go to waste in the apparel industry. Maybe we can do something. But I wanted to build my brand to kind of even be worthy of some of these. I don't want them like, dude, you only have like 7,000 followers. Like, come hit me up when you're like at 15 or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's what's hard about. But like I said, with my relationships, like with Abel, I mean, Abel's got a few 100,000 followers, and I hit him up, I'm like, hey, I want to do this. I'll use this art in the seat with your shirt. He's like, let's do it, you know? So yeah, so it's pretty cool, man. I'm excited. I'm excited about working with these guys. Basically gonna have HBCG NorCal represented up here. And like I said, it's next year. If you are able to order something custom next year, the turnaround times will be a lot. I mean, I'm not going to take on so much. And like I said, the only reason it got that far was the logistics of this year, and was just kind of messed a lot of sourcing and stuff up. But everybody that's still, you know, show love and everything. I mean, I got guys who are like, hey man, no worries. Like, you know, like we're cool. You know what I mean? So that they understand. I mean, there's people that don't, but I mean, you really can't please everyone, you know?
Yeah, that's for sure.
So, it's just, I tried. Believe me, I trust. At some point, I was batting 1,000. I would tell people, like, I got 100% shipping rate, like percent. Like everything that's ordered, I shipped for like maybe a year and a half. Everything that was ordered, shipped. No refunds, no returns, not, you know, no cancels. Like anything that was ordered when I first, like, I wanted to have like, and I'm super, like I said, I'm super ambitious, you know, like I want to, if you want to do something, you know, you overdo it. You know, something worth doing is worth overdoing, right? So I tried, but it's like I said, and I tell some people know the story, but it's like I didn't plan this whole HBCG thing. It was never like I had a business plan. Let me get some investors. Let me do this. Let me figure this out. Let me plan it. It all literally just fell on my lap. You know, like I was doing my custom car shop. Started building some bikes. Being a car guy, so, you know, I wanted to get some mags. Nobody had it. So, you know, so found some mags that I could take it to rides. Be like, whoa, you know, pretty cool mags. Where can I get those? So that kind of started there. Same with the seat, man. I'm not sure who I told this story to, but I bought when I first started riding Big Rippers, I bought a Big Ripper, and a friend of mine had a beast mode. So I saw the first thing I saw in that beast mode was the seat. I'm like, holy shit, that seat is dope, you know? Because you don't see that seat on any of the bikes previously, ever. That was like the dopest seat like ever. And I'm like, where can I buy that seat? Like, you can't buy that seat. You got to buy the bike.
The whole bike, yeah.
And I was like, dang it. So I like looked on, I would like search, like maybe somebody might be parting one out. So I would look, Craigslist, OfferUp, eBay. Finally found one on eBay for $150. So, and that's kind of where I think I came up with my price point was from that first seat. Was I bought it for $150. So I'm like, okay, I paid $150. I was like, you know, if I would buy this already made for $150 to customize it to what I want, I'm sure some people would want that or whatever.
Yeah.
You know? So I bought that seat. I was so stoked. I was like tracking every day, I get it. I put it on my Big Ripper. At first I was kind of like, well, you know, it's a Big Ripper, but it says beast mode, but what do you do? No, I can't find that seat anywhere else. Right. And at the time, you know, my neighbor, we had 5-6 of us riding bikes at the time. We were like we're all, I'm the same. Anything I do, I'm competitive. You want to play ping pong, you want to play chess, whatever. Like I'd play to win. You know what I mean? I mean, I'll be good, but I'll play to win. So we were trying to, you know, we're doing like wheelies, like, oh, let's see who can wheelie first of all of us. And I'm sitting here practicing wheeling. So I practicing wheeling, I was like, oh, I think I got it, and I had to bail, so I let the bike go. I was like, holy shit, my seat. So I was like trying to chase my bike down, trying to catch it before it fell, but I didn't get there in time, and I didn't care about it to buy anything else. I didn't check the forks, I didn't check the handlebars. I just went straight to that seat. I'm like, and it was ripped. I was like, oh damn it, I'm all just, you know, I paid $150 for that thing. So I was like, dang it. So I like took it. You know what? I'm like, you know what? I can do this. I mean, literally mess with it. Took it apart, try to fix it, try to do this. Took it to upholstery shops. Can you guys fix this? Is there a way you can patch this, that? You know, and then finally I just, you know, like I said, I figured I just messed around, played with it, pattern, this, that, tried a few times. And next thing you know, like, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to embroider it and put SE Racing on the back because it's going to go in a big ripper. So I found some embroidery shops and I was willing to do that. So, and then next thing you know, I'm like, I had this seat, like a beast mode seat with the SE Racing logo in the back, black and everything. Took it to a ride. Dude, where'd you get that seat? You know what I mean? And all of a sudden,
yeah.
Can you make me one? Can you make me one? And then obviously with social media now, like, it just blew up, and that was tough. I mean, you think it's tough now, but back then nobody was making seats. There was no SE seats, no SE Flyer seats. So if somebody placed an order, like I'm scouring Craigslist, I'm scouring OfferUp, I'm scouring whatever to find like good used seats that I could use to like recover and ship. And I mean, there's times where I couldn't. There's just nothing out there, you know.
Bro, you are underselling yourself on those
so there
seats,
was
bro.
so when SE released their seat, it was like, I'm all, thank you, you know. At least I can have and people would like send me their seats. I'm like, oh, you know, if you got a seat, just send it. But you know, it's come a long way, man, and it's still. There's just a lot of I mean, people do not understand what it takes to go into that. But like I said, I hope everybody that was able to get some work done is stoked. And just look forward to some cool, dope collabs like this one. And check out the shop, man. The shop's gonna be like we're working on some cool stuff without giving too much away yet. You know. Like what we talked about earlier with the Nike ID, you could kind of design your shoe. We're trying to create like that experience where some people have time and some people have money, right? But very few people have both, right? It's and so it's you want a custom bike, you can have the time, but if you don't, but you get the money or you want to have somebody else do it, you know, we want to give that feeling of where you could kind of walk in, be like, hey. This is the bike I want, and we're gonna hopefully be able to work out some kind of like rendition, like a 360, and you can kind of design how you want the bike.
Nice.
With the seat and pads, you know, whatever wheels and whatever color, and we'll build it for you. You know, at that store, these guys will all assist with whatever I need to with the custom stuff, and that way you kind of walk out with you know, a bike that you designed, you designed. Because I mean, we all know, man, it's hard. Like, it's fun building a bike, but especially right now, like to locate parts, to do this, to send this out to because there's really nothing that anybody that's customizing stuff can't do except time. Like, you know, I mean, with the stuff I do, maybe a little bit, but for the most part, I've got people that are chroming, powder coating, anodizing. I mean, it's stuff. If you know where to go, whatever, anybody can do it. But do you have the time to do it? Do you want to go there, drop this off, wait a few weeks, keep hassling them to see if it's ready, go pick it up? You know, do you have that time? So the guys that are doing all this custom stuff, like whatever it is that you're doing with custom stuff, building frames, building this, I mean, it's all, that's what's behind the scenes stuff that, yeah, with social media, it's cool to flex on Instagram with, oh, here's my finished build, you know?
Right.
Here's this. Oh, check out these parts that I did. But man, you don't know what it took to get to that end result, you know? So, you know, shout out to all the guys that do custom stuff. Seriously. From decals to whatever. I mean, it's not easy, man. I mean, some things are a little more efficient or easier than others, but for the most part, especially to right now, how big bike life is, like you're catering to like the masses. Like, think about it. GT, SE, Throne, like you name all the just in the BMX genre. I'm not even talking about mountain bikes, beach crew. I'm just talking about the BMX genre. There's still not enough bikes out there.
Nope.
That's what's crazy, right? So the people that are producing parts, I mean, tubes for a while were like gold. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, bro.
Like bike shops couldn't even get tubes. Like you're seeing bike shops that are stacked with repairs, and they can't even repair these bikes because they can't get the parts to repair it.
Right.
You know, I was online trying to order a Profile Elite freewheel. September 2021 is what it's saying right now.
A year.
Profile. I mean, Profile
my
is a
God.
legit brand that's been a while. Quality shit. Good brand. And like I said, 2021, you can't even get one. They won't have any available, right? That's how backed up shit is right now. I mean, everything, parts. So it's like going back to all the custom stuff. So when these big brands cannot keep up with mass produced stuff that just goes in a box to ship, like me, and I tell people, you know, truth be told, like I have a team, obviously. I got guys behind the, you know, doing digitizing, doing this, I mean, it takes a team effort to make, yes, like some, you know, for the most part, get all the glory, which I kind of tell everybody it's a team effort, but it's but as far as just the overall daily activity, it's me, man. Like I tell people, hey, I'm the CEO, but I'm also the janitor, you know.
Hell yeah.
I'm the shipper, you know. I pack, I ship, I do the labor, I do the bookkeeping. I mean, it's just me. And why don't you hire somebody, you know? Well, it's one of those things where, as a growing business, I've tried hiring people, and it's so detail oriented, and I feel like if you're not equally vested into it as I am,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I've had people that I've had just do simple shipping stuff and ship the wrong color to different people. You know what I mean? And it's like, man, like I offer free shipping, so it's like. So I already lost money with free shipping. Then for me to have to ship it back and then ship them the right one, like, and I still got to pay you. So it's like, you know what I mean. So now I'm way under, you know. So it's really hard to find. So my goal is to at some point find, and I've talked to different people over the last year, because I want to grow, and you can't grow without help. It's just not possible. You can take something so far. At some point, you gotta like let the reins go and partner up with the right people with the same goals and the same principles and morals and grow, right? So I was, like I said, we've been talking. So this is one of the stuff I'm doing to try to help grow the brand and alleviate some of the stuff that I normally would do. These guys are going to help out and do. So nice. we could all, you know, I'm not one of those guys where I want to be on top alone. It's lonely at the top. I never wanted to be at top of anything by myself. Like I would rather have my whole squad be on top, you know, and the people that I work with, like you know, so, and that's, you know, like I said, I played sports, and it's like, that's why I never played golf or tennis. Like I like basketball. I like things where I have people that have your back, that you got their back. You know what I mean? It's you just can accomplish more together, right? So that's kind of like what the goal is for next year, is doing some cool collabs, partnering up with, you know, cool people, and there's so many of them. There's so many cool people in bike life. I can't tell you. If I had to make a list of all the cool people I've met, like this would be like a 20-hour show. You know?
For real though.
It's and everybody's so cool, like. And it's so crazy because a lot of us haven't even met in real life. Like this is, I mean, we've met before. We went on a ride in Modesto not too long ago. But before that, we were trying to like, I kind of wanted to come on the show and whatever. I was a fan, and it's like, there's just so many cool people, man. And it's, and that's what makes, I've never experienced anything like this, and I've been through a lot. I've been with some dope ass brands, and I tell my friends in the apparel industry and other industries, I'm like, dude, there is no demographic, like it's a wide open demographic for this bike life. Like the last brand I was with was Tap Out, right? Like we took Tap Out from like 50,000 a year in annual sales, and then by the time I left, when they sold the brand, we were doing like 100 million in sales. And that was cool too. But even with that brand, right, it was a 18 to 35 male demographic. with anything, you have a specific target demographic: 18 to 35 male, 12 to 16 girls, whatever I category, whatever. But with bike life, it doesn't have that demographic. You don't have.
No.
I mean, you got kids, you got old people, you got all colors. It doesn't matter. I mean, dude, I can't tell you how many people dudes are like, dude, I want to build my wife a bike. She's starting to ride now. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like families, husbands, wives, kids. Like, I mean, no age group, no other. It's literally like, who's your target? If somebody was asking, who's your target group? I'm like, everybody.
Yeah. For real.
If you're in bike life, what's your target group? Everybody. Like, I'm not going after just this dude or that customer or this. Like, it's everybody. And that's what's so awesome about this, and what makes it super appealing. And like I said, it's cool. It's cool to be part of this, man. It really is. Like I said, I've been a part of a lot of action sports brands when they were like, I remember when motocross was super hot, freestyle, when that first went to the X Games, and Carey Hart did that backflip.
Right.
Remember that single backflip Carey Hart did? Now freaking people are like, Travis Passon did like a triple backflip. Like that evolution is like crazy, right? And then skate, you have, so I kind of wanted, like, my goal was to come in and be able to evolve bring some kind of new stuff, some, with the accessories, with the customizing and kind of just, and it's cool because, it pushes everybody. I mean, I was at the Hoedown, right? And I got a chance to see some of the new bikes SE released before anybody saw them. I was like blown away. I was like, dude, they're stepping their shit up so much. And I'm not talking about, I mean, Todd's always done cool stuff, right? But these bikes were just on a different level, I felt. Same with the Throne. I mean, it's like everybody's just stepping. I mean, the GT is releasing crazy amount of bikes everybody's like leveling up,
Right.
Whereas before I felt like, from the 2018 to 2019 Big Ripper, like it was just a different color. It was like
right.
And this one, it's the same.
But like that for a few years.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, all these new things evolve, new parts, new headset, new bottom brackets. It's like, bigger size tires, different, like
New tires.
tires. I mean, it's like, I've even like seen like stock seats and pads, like some dope stock ones now, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I don't know if I had anything to do with that, but but it's good to see the evolution. It's like that's what competition does, is it pushes you to be better, not necessarily to beat the other guy, but to be better than yourself. You know what I mean? Like, and that's all good for bike life. Like, I mean, I don't see like everyone's like, oh, I have friends that were like part of the fixed gear movement. And, I'm sure you know, and they're like, oh, this is just gonna come and go again, just like that. And I'm like, no, this is I don't. It's nowhere even near like plateauing yet. Not even close. Like
no, because this is just already expanded too far out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Past like where the fixed gear freestyle ever was, it was never this popular.
Yeah,
and there was monetary stuff going on, like competitions and shit, but there wasn't 350 dudes on fixed gear freestyles mobbing down the street together. And
the fixed gear demographic was still somewhat, you could kind of put as a category of of that customer, right?
Right.
But yeah, so man, it's cool. I mean,
we're running a little short on time, so
okay. Yeah.
Close it up here.
But that's appreciate you having me. Before I go, I do want to do an anonymous shout out. I don't want to leave the show without this. There's a friend in the bike life industry that's like family to me. So they're just, I don't want to give out to, because some people know, some people don't, and it's not my place to kind of put it out there for this person, situation, whatever. But they're gonna be going through something here in the next few days, and just wanted to give a shout out, let them know that we're all, praying for them, pulling for them, just positive vibes, and that's just kind of, just want to put that out there, without naming names, without giving too much info. It's not my place. I want to use this platform to kind of do that. So
Nice. Right on.
he knows who he is. So hopefully, love you, bro.
Yeah, man. We got you. Good vibes.
So
Cool. Yeah, man. Thank you guys for making the trip out here. I super appreciate it. I know you guys have been traveling. You and Mike have been traveling a lot, it sounds like, but thank you guys for coming out and sharing what you guys got going on with the store and all that. It sounds pretty dope. I'm definitely going to have to come check it out in person. Most definitely.
We'll be posting stuff, updates on social media, and I'm obviously planning some cool grand opening, some cool stuff, and just keep everybody posted. It's
Baylands Bicycles.
Baylands Bicycle
on Instagram.
Yeah,
Check us
yeah.
out.
Hell yeah. Yeah. I'll have all the info in the description below, so
Yeah,
make
we
sure
got a couple of helmets.
tap
Maybe
in.
Slim could pass them out.
Yep.
Safety first.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to rock this on the intro, but
Yeah.
you know the deal. You shot me some pedals. We got some helmets.
Check your dome.
Yep. It's giveaway for the kids. Got a couple of those, so stay tuned for that. Shout out to Al, Bayland Bicycles.
Yes, sir. Thank
Mike
you.
from HB.Custom Garage. My bad. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Misfit Podcast. Once again, hit that like button, subscribe, comment below. Make sure and hit the links. Go follow all these guys and keep updated with what they got going on. New shit to come. Till next week, go ride your bike.